So why are we doing this? Well, here we're finding the very doorway into other levels of mind that are always involved every time you find a solution to a problem in your life. And this mental upshift is our most important point of influence into the world around us. But what we do most times when we're confronted by a problem from the outside world, something like global warming or a problem with our relationships or the troubles in the Middle East or even where we've lost our keys, and when we're confronted with this problem on the outside, we let it infect our mind on the inside. We become engaged in it. We become absorbed in it. We actually become an extension of the problem itself, like we're a little satellite of that whole issue we're trying to solve. And this brain drain does absolutely nothing to solve the problem. In fact, all we get is a dose of post-traumatic stress. And if we let that go on long enough and spread widely enough, we find exactly what we've got in the world today, a global epidemic of mental depression. But by you allowing yourself, even this very first slight upshift in your attention is plugging you into what quantum physicists call the power of the observer, the power within observation itself. And we now know that that power does much, much more for us than just give us pictures of the world. In fact, this gives a whole new meaning to the term open-mindedness. And if we practice this enough and take it far enough, we actually go way beyond self-absorption into self-awareness, and then extend into this intelligent field that science calls the infinity and the spiritual or religious call the divine. And in these higher levels is where all of our habits and fixations can be made or broken with relative ease. And it's also in these higher levels, these higher stages, that all solutions to problems are found and developed, and the outcomes we then choose evolve effortlessly. And in the early levels is where we see sports people saying they're in the zone, or where business people say they're on the money or on a roll, and where musicians say they're in harmony. And when we acknowledge that we may have unhelpful habits of mind that shut down these higher connections in us and allow negativity and fear to infiltrate our lives, it only takes this very first small upshift in our awareness to begin opening up the tunnel vision of our attention and discovering that we're no longer disempowered, that we're actually connected into this intelligent field of energy with all the possibilities that this brings. And we also discover that we actually have a choice over how we respond to all the issues and situations in our life, rather than always reacting out of blind habit. Now, what we've been doing here is opening up the toolbox of the mind just a little and using one of its many tools. And there are countless others in there for you to choose from and use to give you a more complete experience of reality and your place in it. Now, humanity is at a turning point, and the most positive option is that we go with this breakthrough in consciousness that's actually bigger than the breakthrough we had 500 years ago when Galileo upgraded us from a flat earth view of the world to an orbital universe. We can choose to keep our head in the sand and ignore all this, or we can continue evolving into this new reality which includes the quantum experience of everything. And then at the very least, traffic jams become easy downtime and running about becomes healthy exercise. So navigate the website, have a look around, get a copy of the book either at a local bookstore or online, and don't forget to play the Ultimate Awareness Quiz, which is on the website, and find out just how aware you are. In spite of what's in the daily diet of world news, remember that almost all of your habits are good for you, not bad. And that all we need to do is begin opening up the tunnel vision of our attention and concentrating it less and less, not more and more. And humanity is getting better and better, not worse and worse. And remember, all of life, the whole of life, generously sharing genes across species as it does, is involved in one magnificent collaboration and common purpose, the evolution of consciousness. And humanity's is on the move. So you dare yourself, make the move. My name's Paul Bailey, and remember, pay attention to where you put your attention and stay connected. Thank you.